I'm going to show you how to change a string. Many parents ask me to do this video. String's broken, they don't have a spare string, or just as bad, they don't know how to put it on. And they have to wait a week until their violin lesson, or they go to some overpriced violin shop and they charge $5 per string to put them on, when you can really do it yourself very easily and quickly. What you will need is a violin, you'll need a string, and if you've been doing this a few times, probably a good idea to get some of this stuff called peg paste. You can get it in the violin shops, obviously, and 2B pencil or softer, that's a good idea as well. Alright, so let's say this string's broken. We simply just wind it out, and it easily comes out there, and you get your new string out. Now obviously you will need to have a spare string, so most students don't have spare strings, so good idea to get yourself some spare strings. So while the string's off, you could use a cloth to just clean down, get off that rosin. Take the peg out, and you can see this. It's kind of brown, and that's from the peg paste. Simply just put a bit around like that. It's kind of like clay. Just helps it to turn smoother and give it some grip. Now you can see there's a little tiny hole, and that's where you need to thread the string back through there before you start turning it. So take one string off at a time. Don't take more than one string off at a time. So do one string, replace it, and then put the next one in. Alright, so now I'm going to thread this through, and you can see all the strings are neatly wound around, and that's what you want to do. You want to continue that nice neat looping around the pegs. Now this obviously isn't a new string, so it's a little bit, it's got a kink in it, so that makes it a bit harder, but anyway. Alright, so I thread that through, and just as it pokes through the other side, that's when we'll start to wind, and it will be clockwise as well. So I've lost that one. Let's try again. Okay. Now it seems like. There we are. Okay, now I'll start to wind it through. Try and keep the string tight as you begin to wind it. Lost it again. Let's try that again. Okay, now wind it through slowly and make sure it grips. Keep the string tight with your other hand as you're winding it through. Probably should say before we go any further, the pencil, the 2B pencil, is just to just put a bit of in the groove here of the nut, and also here at the bridge. That just helps the string to glide through. Alright, so now the string's fairly wound through. It's actually a little bit too long. So just hold one string and gradually turn it out until it loops, until the loop reaches the, I don't know what that's called, the tuner. Now on an E string, it's got a little plastic sleeve just to stop it from cutting through the bridge. So you want that sitting on the bridge, and then very carefully tighten it up. Okay, so that's pretty closely in tune. Now if it's a new string, it'll take some time to settle in. One good trick that I did get from another from a violin maker. He said, grab the string and very carefully just give it a little bob up and down, and that just tightens up the string up here in the peg box and helps it to settle in and stretch out a little bit, and that will help your strings to settle in. If you do that for 2 or 3 days, after that your strings are fairly settled in and they won't go out of tune so quickly. So I hope you found that useful, and leave me any comments if you've got any questions. I hope I covered everything.